Good morning. Thank you once again for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. The more I practice being calm and in control of my thoughts, feelings, and actions, the more I notice how wonderful life really is. Years ago, I ran through all kinds of challenges and I made myself crazy. I was working harder and harder and forcing. There were periods of time where I was a single mother. There was periods of time where I was in a marriage that was not good for anybody. There were periods of time that I thought life wasn't worth living. There were periods of time where I worked overtime and extra time and took on more work and pushed and pushed and pushed to try and get out of debt, to pay the bills, to make things happen. And the harder I pushed, the worse I felt. And I just thought that's what life was about. You have to work hard, you have to push and force and make things happen. Well, you have a family to support. You have to do this. And now I'm older and wiser, and I realize there were many times that I was pushing against what was meant to happen in my life. And had I just stopped pushing for a while, I would have been able to realize how life was unfolding as it was supposed to. It's easier now as I'm older and wiser. When you're going through the grind, it feels impossible. And if people tell you to relax, you want to sometimes reach out and strike them because you think, how can I relax when I'm juggling so much? All this is going on. Well, trust me, everything that you're pushing against is happening to wake you up to the idea that the universe is abundant. You are created perfectly, and you really can have everything that you want. You have to allow it, you have to make room for it. You have to allow yourself some rest and relaxation and fun. And when you're in the trenches and you're pushing so hard and working so hard, there is a time in life where, yes, you do have to work, but if you're working in the wrong career or working in the wrong direction, you may be pushing a boulder uphill that is not yours to push. But you know that if you let go of that boulder, it's going to roll over you. But maybe you can step aside and let it roll away on its own. Maybe the boulder that you're pushing uphill is not meant for you. That's why it feels so hard. Do you ever just sit back and say, what am I doing this for? Why is life so hard? What if I'm fighting the wrong battle? What if the struggle isn't real? We make things so big in our minds. We've listened to generations of people that have said, if you're not working hard, you're not worth your salt. If you're not working all the time, you're lazy. We're not working to become rich to the expense of having a love life or having time with our family. What if we just stopped for a moment and asked, what do I really, really want? Is what I'm about to do going to help me grow in my journey? support my family, and make me feel productive, wonderful, that my actions are leaving a legacy, that people will look at what I've done and agree that my life was worth living. If you're just working and not having any fun, life doesn't feel like it's worth living. There are seasons in your life. There are times where you sow and times that you reap. There are times that tilling the soil and planting the garden and tending to it, if you have a beautiful idea, it doesn't immediately come to pass. It may take weeks or months or years for it to happen. But just like planting a garden, you don't dig up the seed to see if it's growing. You plant the seed of an idea and it grows and develops and changes, but you don't give up on it. Like you don't walk away from your garden during the harvest. That's when you reap the benefits of all the work that you put into it. Are you living your life on purpose? Are you living it the way you are truly meant to? Or are you looking at everyone else's life and wishing that was yours? Don't wish your life away. Enjoy the time that you have, because we have no idea how much time we have. I'm going to ask you again, what do you really want? Do you have a vision of what life is supposed to become? Supposed to be according to who? Your parents and generations of people who worked their fingers to the bone and left a lot of money for their family? Well, what good is that if they didn't get to enjoy the time with their family? What good is that if people are taking the money for granted and didn't have the relationships? What good is it if you're greedily spending it yourself and not looking for ways to enjoy it with other people or help the people in need? Not critically or judgmentally, but because that's what speaks to your heart. That's what you want. Instead of wanting what society tells you you should want, what brings peace to your heart? How would you be enjoying your life if you really let go of what society thinks you have to do? There are people who give up their luxuries and live off the grid, and they're more peaceful. There are people who earn a lot of money and live in luxury, and they love that, and they give all their excess to help other people less fortunate because that's what they enjoy. Those are two different extremes, and most people live in the middle. But you can see some of the poorest people in the world are the happiest, and some of the richest people in the world are the most miserable. What's going on in your heart and in your mind? Are you living the life that you prefer? If you were the happiest, healthiest being on earth, what would your life look like? There are challenges that come to help us grow. You don't want to avoid the challenges, but you also don't want to stay mired in the ditches looking at all the things that have gone wrong. That doesn't help anyone. What would you bring into your life? What would mean the most to you? And why is that important? What is the why behind your want? Why are you working so hard? Why do you want what you want? Pretend that you already have the ideal life. How do you feel? When we become more relaxed and start asking better questions, we can see the beauty in the polarity. We realize that we can't be happy and joyful all the time because we would just take that for granted. We need sorrow in our life in order to see the contrast. To really experience joy and happiness, we must have something to compare it to. Oftentimes, people have everything they want. They're living the life of luxury. They've got an ideal family life. They're living with the perfect partner. They love their job, and yet they're bored. They want something more. That's not selfish. That's the spiritual side looking to grow and experience more. The universe is always for expansion and fuller expression. You're here to do God's work. What is God's work? It's to create. Whether you create a family, you create a home, you create new employment for people so that they can raise their families. Maybe you're creating beautiful music or artwork. You can create a garden. What would you love to create, and why is it important to you? Sandy Gallagher was one of my mentors. She was Bob Proctor's partner, and she said, visioneering is when you truly begin to create your world through the effective use of your imagination. You create and hold the image of what you want. When you make a decision as to what you really truly desire, the universe conspires to make it happen. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. That takes having a vision, having a dream, a fantasy, and then turning it into a goal. That's your destination. That's where you're going. Visualizing it, spending time in it as if it's already done. It's yours. It's here now. Getting into the feeling as if it's already here. And then ideas start to flow as you take action on the new ideas, even if those ideas seem impossible or big and scary. You take action, and as you take action, as you act differently, as you behave differently, as you do something, you cause an effect, because you are the cause and effect of everything that's showing up in your life. You put out a new thought, a new feeling, a new action, and the universe shows you different results. That comes after you know what you want, get in harmony with what it would feel like, and act as if it's already yours. And you can do that when you practice being calm and relaxed, allowing ideas to flow, because new ideas can't come to you when you're stressed, worried, fearful, doubtful of anxiety. Visualization and doing something different comes from expressing well-being, and that comes from being at ease, developing faith that what you want is yours. If you can't see it, it's not here yet, it's coming. Just because you can't see it in the three-dimensional realm doesn't mean it's not here. It means you haven't tapped into that energy and done what you need to do in order to have it show up. You are a spiritual being. You have an intellect. You can see pictures. And as you act as if you already have your beautiful vision, act healthy, act happy. What does that mean? To truly connect to source energy and become that version of you, be in the state of being happy, be in the state of being joyful. Do that more often, and you'll notice what a wonderful world we really do live in. You'll notice the polarity, you'll notice the poverty and the violence, but you won't attach your vibrational energy to that because you know that's not what you want. That's not meant for you. The happier and healthier and wealthier you become, the more life is in your hands, the more you can enjoy it and create what you want for yourself, your family, and for the world. James Allen wrote a little article called Serenity, and this helps to read it every day. Bob Proctor used to suggest that people write it out with their non-dominant hand. That means you pay more attention to every word. I'm going to read that to you now. Serenity by James Allen. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought. And as he develops a right understanding and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume and worry and grieve and remains poised, steadfast, serene. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they in turn reverence his spiritual strength and feel that they can learn of him and rely upon him. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity. For people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is strongly equable. The strong, calm mind is always loved and revered. He is like a shade-giving tree in a thirsty land, or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite poise of character, which we call serenity, is the last lesson of culture, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold, yea, than even fine gold. How insignificant mere money-seeking looks in comparison with a serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reach of the tempests, in the eternal calm. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood. It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise which is characteristic of the finished character. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever ye may be, under whatsoever conditions ye may live, know this: in the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still. Peace, be still. The more you practice being calm, the calmer you will remain under whatever circumstances you face. You will notice as you practice serenity, your life changes. The situations around yourself morph into more of what you desire. When you look at what you desire and remain calm and allow it into your experience, rather than fighting what is. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. James Allen says, a man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. When you practice allowing your mind and your body to relax, when you practice visioneering, pretending, acting as if you already have what you desire, when that's held in your mind and in your heart, in your conscious mind and in your subconscious mind, your body starts to vibrate in the energetic feeling as if it is yours already, as if that's what you're experiencing. And your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's current reality and what's in your imagination. So things start to change around you, and you become the person that already has achieved what you desire. It just happens. Yes, you'll have to take some action, you'll have to do some work, but not the pushing and grinding that society believes is necessary or that you thought had to happen. Practice serenity. Practice thinking more about what you desire: health, happiness, peace, and allow that to be your life. The whole world changes when you change how you look at the world. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.